Hello friends, Aaron from Aaron's Anxiety, your personal guide through anxiety at its finest. So an update video. Let's do a Lexapro update video. I haven't done one of those in a while, or as my grandpa would say, a while. So there's several new things that have been up with my Lexapro. I'm going to do my absolute best to try to keep this camera steady, but realize that I make these things. I'm a busy guy. I have a lot going on all the time. But I never want to neglect my channel as far as if I have good information or if I have new information, you guys are in it. So what I do is I film these in the van. That's why you're always going to see me in my work van, or at least most of the time, because that's when I have time to actually sit and talk with you guys. And I appreciate the fact that you guys understand that my videos are a little shaky, and every now and then there's something going on. So that being said, my update video, my Lexapro, and I get a lot of people that ask questions. It's probably my number one question, and I think it's the number one viewed video. No, I don't think it is. I think my backstory is my number one viewed video, which I appreciate your guys' interest in my story. But up there is my sex life on Lexapro video. So today is going to be an update on Lexapro, and with that we're going to have an update on my sex life, and I'm flattered that you guys even want to know. Okay, so update on Lexapro. The last that I had touched bases with Lexapro and you guys was when I had switched my Lexapro from one 10 milligram pill in the morning to breaking that into 2 5 milligrams, one at 10 in the morning, and then I take one around 5, which I haven't taken it yet. It's 5:46, so I will need to be taking that. In fact, I need to tell you right now. So that being said, since doing that, my anxiety has dropped significantly. It's amazing how not only am I taking the same medication, but I'm just taking it at a different time, and it makes the world, literally the world of difference. My anxiety was good before, but it was not near this good until I split that pill and started evening out that medication through my mind and my brain at a more even pace. Sorry, there's road work ahead. I gotta make sure we don't roll up into a crash. So since then, my everything, my anxiety has gone down. My fear of depersonalization has gone down. Those feelings that you wonder if you might be going into depersonalization, those have gone down. I'm as close to being back before anxiety was ever a real issue. I'm like full bore thicket anxiety. I'm as close to being back to par as I've ever been. And I know I've said that several times, but I try to tell you guys that aren't on Lexapro or some kind of SSRI or beta blockers to try to find these things out, because once you find the one that works, things just keep getting better. But like I said, you always got to do the work for them to get better, and things have been a lot better for me. They've been so good, and I can't wait for you guys to get where I am. I'm excited for you guys to take the journey to get here, basically, and I know you guys can do it. Trust me, I know people say this all the time, but literally, if I can do it, as high-strung and as perfectionist mindset, I'm a painter by trade. You want to be a perfectionist as a painter. It drives you crazy, but it's what keeps you a good painter. And I'm not talking about a wall painter. I'm talking about a glazer, a sprayer. I have a spray hand. I can spray cars. I spray bathtubs as my main shtick, but I spray cars and pretty much anything, you name it, I've sprayed. I've sprayed things like fences, cars, obviously bathtubs, shower units, tile, floors, robots that go overseas. I've sprayed all kinds of stuff. You name it, I've probably painted it at one point or another. So, that being said, you have to have a very perfectionist mindset. And if I can have this type of mindset and be at the place where I am now with my anxiety, I know you can too. I was crippled up in my bed mentally. I would not leave the house. And now I'm here. And that blows my mind. But I was very adamant about taking steps to get out of there. So, keep trudging, keep pushing. This is the thing. I keep driving this home to everybody. All right, I'm done ranting about that. I know you can do it. Just keep rolling. I got so much faith in you guys. You have no idea. Anyways, so that's been great. My mental overall, cognitive memory, things like that. There was a short amount of time, and one of my subscribers asked me about if I have trouble with short-term memory loss since being on there. I did at first, and I think mainly it was because my brain was so in tune with paying attention to every little detail of my life that when I finally said, hey, let's take a break, and I took some medication, that it went, I don't need to remember every small little detail. Things need to go into the recesses of my brain to make me a happy, healthy me. And so those feelings of, oh, did I forget that? Am I forgetting stuff? That's gone. I don't think about that stuff anymore because I'm now at a normal state. And no, your memory is fine. Your anxiety is what's causing you to worry about your memory. And that anxiety is now gone too. My memory is fine. My cognitive abilities of the world around me is great. Things just seem real, which if you have derealization, you'll know what I'm talking about. It doesn't feel like you're walking around in a dream. That was before with Lexapro too, though. That's not current. I just want to give people a heads up. I try to answer some of these questions in my videos to elaborate a little bit more to help a lot of people out. So, other than that, my appetite is still here. And I think it's a mixture of my appetite being high because one of the Lexapro, weight gain kind of is a thing, and two because I'm a busy man, and I also have a newborn baby at home, little Henry, and he is just the coolest thing in my life. I was born to be a dad. I know that. I felt it for a long time. I love children, and I was just born to be a dad. I was born to be a married man. I was born to be a dad. But that being said, it's the babies. I mean, if you guys have had children or have children now at the house, you guys know they're a lot of work. They're a lot of work. You would think that, oh, how could this thing that all it does is poop and eat and pee and cry, like how could that be a lot of work? Weren't you satisfied? No, they're a lot of work. They consume a lot of time. So that in itself causes you to gain weight because you don't feel like going out into the kitchen, and neither does my wife, who's breastfeeding and changing. We're in this together, and neither one of us feel like going and cooking a healthy meal. So you end up running into a lot of fast food drive-thrus just to get by, just to fill the void, and that too has made me gain some weight. So, but I will owe it a little bit to the Lexapro. I'm going to push a little bit of that off on the Lexapro too. Plus that once you feel better, I mean, food is a comfort anyway. So, what else? Okay, we'll get into my sex life. So my sex life has been pretty good with Lexapro. And my last video, what I kept saying is it's good, but it's never my idea. It's kind of always like my sex drive is always kind of in the other room. It's always like, hey, you want to have sex? Yeah, that'd be good. And then some days she's like, hey, you want to have sex? And I'm like, it seems like a lot of work right now. Maybe I'll just, maybe tomorrow. I'm a 28-year-old male. I feel like my drive should be through the roof. And so after I split the 10 milligram into 2 5s, it took about I don't know, a couple weeks, week to 2 weeks to my body to adjust to that more steady stream. And I don't know if it's because it's the lower dosage at different times, my sex drive has came back with a vengeance. Like, I'm not going to get too far into this, okay? I'm not going to do it. But it has came back significantly to the point where I am exactly how I was before having all these, panic attacks and derealization, depersonalization, the high anxiety, all these things curb the out of your libido. And so that being said, my sex drive has came back a lot, and it's wonderful. You know what I mean? Happy wife, happy life, happy spouse, happy house. So we're both happy in a lot of different terms, even outside of the sex. And it's wonderful. Lexapro, I can definitely say that has changed a lot of negative things in my life. But I will always throw in there, and I'm going to do it every time I tell you guys that. Lexapro didn't get me to here. It got me to the finishing move here, where I'm talking to you right now. But the majority of my struggle has been with my own self-improvement. I always tell everybody, keep in mind, most of the time, if you are having high levels of anxiety and things like that, it's because somebody, if you believe in angels, someone, something, the universe, whatever you want to call it, the world knows that you are going in the wrong direction, basically. So you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, whether that's financially, whether you're doing drugs, whether you're eating out way too much, whether whatever in your heart that what you're doing is wrong, and you give yourself excuses all the time of why it's okay to do wrong, or why it's okay to neglect my kids, or neglect this or neglect that. And so eventually you can only do that so much before things start breaking down, and your mind, your subconscious mind, will push you to do the right thing, even if it has to break you down to do it. Always keep in mind, people, that diamonds are made through pressure, and sometimes you have to go through pressure if you're not putting enough pressure on yourself to get to where you need to be. Anxiety is not a bad thing. I will say this forever. It feels horrible sometimes, it feels scary sometimes, but anxiety in and of itself is not a bad thing. It's gotten more people to be successful than any other thing ever. So, quick recap, because I don't want this video to go on too long. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. Lexapro, splitting the pill to 2 5 milligrams at 10 o'clock and at 5 o'clock has helped me tremendously, above and beyond just taking the one pill at 10. So I would recommend, if you feel like you're at a safe point in your anxiety endeavors and you're on medication, I would definitely ask your doctor about it, about splitting, if you haven't done that already. A lot of times doctors will recommend people to do that anyway, but I would highly suggest looking into it if you're already on the medication, it's already in your system. If you're brand new to it, sometimes you just need to ride stuff out, and it's not going to matter if you split the pill or not. Second, sex life has came back really well, and I'm very happy for myself. I spend a lot of time and effort trying to keep my head and my body in a position where I can be less anxiety ridden. And it's good to take a second and high five yourself when you know you've put a lot of work into something. And I know I say that because all the people that are watching these videos, you're at some point in your little journey, and so don't forget that just because you made a small accomplishment in your mental health doesn't mean you shouldn't stop and give yourself a little air five, because a lot of small accomplishments make a big difference. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff down below, all that fun stuff that you guys know how to do. If you have any questions, I love answering your questions. If you have a topic that you want me to go over, shoot it out. I'd love to go over with you. I'll give you a little shout out if I pick your topic too. So yeah, until next time, guys. Until next time, guys, I'm Aaron from Aaron's Anxiety, and I will see you guys in the next video.